Tonight, teachers reject pay offer. The EIS says members are closer to strike action than they've been for 3 decades.
If we have no progress in negotiations across December, we will be meeting early January to consider strike action. And I think given the anger that is there amongst our members, that becomes a very real possibility.
Also tonight, parents say they'll fight to save a Perthshire school that's announced it'll close this week.
I'll be live from Hampden as we look forward to this crucial Nations League qualifier, Scotland against Israel.
And the Highland farmer who's preparing to spread Christmas cheer at Downing Street after being named top of the trees. Good evening, I'm Ben Phillip. This is the STV News at 6, live from Aberdeen. Good evening. Members of Scotland's largest teaching union, the EIS, have overwhelmingly rejected their pay offer. Almost 3/4 of teachers in the EIS voted and 98% were against the deal. They are now calling on the local authorities body COSLA and the Scottish Government to come back to the table with a better proposal. If that fails, it could lead to the first national series of teacher strikes in more than 30 years. Well, we can go live now to our senior reporter, Gordon Cree, who has been following the story. Gordon. The First Minister and Westminster opposition party leaders have agreed to join forces to try and block the Prime Minister's Brexit deal. Nicola Sturgeon says it's a terrible deal for Scotland. She's held talks with Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn and Lib Dem Vince Cable and says this is the most formal agreement between them to vote against Theresa May's deal. The First Minister and Prime Minister are holding face-to-face talks just now. Well, Colin Mackay is at Westminster and joins us now. Colin, what's coming out of these talks? A school specialising in the education of children with additional support needs is to close this week, just days after it was issued with an improvement notice from the Care Inspectorate. A recent report by inspectors highlighted failings in child protection procedures. Parents have been told that the new school at Butterstone in Perthshire will shut its doors on Friday because of increased costs and a reduction of income. Lynn Rankin reports. Still to come on the programme, sport with Chris at Hampden, and Sean will have the weather.
So the air temperatures today have at least been round about where they should be for the time of year, but it's been feeling very chilly in that easterly airflow, and that easterly is going to pick up tomorrow. Some strong winds, some large waves and quite a bit of rain to come through tomorrow morning, but join me later for all those details. Now time for more local news. I'll have the stories for the north, and in Dundee it's Hayley Bomma. The family of an Aberdeen teenager missing since the weekend say they're shocked and devastated by his disappearance. Police teams and a helicopter have been searching for 16-year-old Liam Smith, who was last seen in the Aberdeenshire village of Lumphanan. Ross Govins is there for us tonight. Ross. An investigation's underway following the unexplained death of a 32-year-old man in Inverness at the weekend. Gavin Grant was taken to Raigmore Hospital in the city after police were called to a property in Craigar Terrace at around 6:45 on Saturday night. Police Scotland say it will maintain a presence in the area until investigations are complete. Now, Scotland is blessed with many beautiful high streets, but after a public vote, the Aberdeenshire town of Turriff has clinched the top spot. Laura Alderman has been along to find out why. A new artwork has been installed on the banks of the River Ness as part of a project to celebrate the Highland capital and the wider area. 2 standing stones sculpted by Edinburgh artist Annie Cattrall, featuring a bronze resin, will glow in the sunlight. And those were your local stories in the north and east. Now, speaking Scots at school used to be discouraged, but pupils in one Aberdeenshire secondary are being taught the language to see if it can improve their grades. Children at Banff Academy are taking part in a University of Aberdeen project to find out if working in the language has a positive impact on learning. Anne Smith reports. Well, that takes us on to the sport with Chris tonight at Hampden Park. Now here's Sean with a look at the weather forecast. And before we go tonight, a Highlander will supply the Prime Minister with this year's Christmas tree to adorn her Downing Street doorstep. He's fended off competition from rivals across the UK for the privilege and is preparing for a trip to number 10 to toast his success. Ian Ramage reports. Well, that's all for this evening. I'll be back with the late news around 11 o'clock. From everyone here, good night.
For news and more 24 hours a day, download the STV News app.